Hello folks, how's everybody doing today? Happy Saturday. Hope everyone's having a good time. Cheshire, I'm glad to hear that the son's birthday went well. Before you take care of things, all right, no worries, go ahead, have fun. Hey Gutman, how you doing? Chaser, how are you doing today as well? Great to see you. Boz. Well, I'll have you know that one of my favorite streamers always says, the only person who could possibly be late to a stream is the streamer. So you're not late. Yes, Danger Noodles. Noodles! Wiggle, 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 wiggle. Yeah. Boss Lake confirmed. Uh-oh. You just got called out, Boz. All right, let's see here. What do we got going on? I've got some Danger Noodles for you, so this will knock off one of our snake streams. I was woefully underprepared. Yeah, we should wait for Lazy. I was woefully underprepared today. I meant to record them last night, got sucked into GTA, as happens. Please, in case they're hanging around. Hey, Gaming Panda, how you doing today? It's great to see you. So yeah, I meant to record them last night. Thank you for the lurk, Cheshire. I appreciate it. Got sucked into a game, went to bed, got up this morning and realized my camera needed charged. So, that happened. But I got us some snakes to talk about, to look at, to poke. And we've got 3 more after this, so... Well, I mean, not today, obviously. We're doing one at a time because you guys deserve your entire... Oh my gosh, the snakes would be so fed up with me if I tried to do them all in one day. But yeah, hopefully Lazy pops in here quickly. How is everybody doing today? How is everybody doing today? Is everybody enjoying their Saturday? I need to clear off some of these. Boop the snoot. Oh, we are gonna boop the snoots. There's gonna be snoot boopening. Actually reminds me, day was too short. Too much stuff to do in it? Does that just mean that you're super busy? You feel like you should still be asleep? I definitely could have slept like another hour at least. Glad I didn't though, because then we would be super ridiculously late. Instead of just kind of sort of, yes, we're late. But yes, also had a really good cookie a little while ago. So, yeah. Kind of feel like a burger right now, though. Where did I get this background? I actually don't even remember. Do you want me to send it to you? You still can't find it. Oh, no. I think I got it from Wallpaper Engine. Not 100% sure, because I was playing around with Wallpaper Engine while I was doing other things. It refuses. I actually thought you found it the other day, and then when you were talking to the person, it said somebody else's name was it's Avor, and I was just like, wow, really? Well, I've only got the one really tall chick. I've still got your guy. I wonder, like, are you still getting paid for him being with me? Oh, here's an idea. If only one person can hire your dude at a time, does that mean maybe somebody else hired mine? Which could be a thing. So yeah, that could be a thing that somebody else has hired them. Well, you still see... You're, the one I hired off of you is still available for you to use it as well, right? So he's basically in 2 places at once. Because he's definitely been on raids and stuff with me, and every time I'm on my boat, just like boating around, he's like in the 2nd spot on the right-hand side. So I'm like, hey, that's Daisy's guy. Who? Henceforth, Lazy Bones shall be known as Lay. Snakes, yes, Lazy Bones. How are you doing? Great to have you here. All right, so this is the Lay. Boz is rebranding you, Lazy Bones. Alright, so yes, this is going to be Thor's armor on him next. I wonder if it updates from my end when you change his gear. You're in the Target parking lot? Oh my gosh. This is some unfortunate timing we've got right now. Okay, all right. So because Lazy Bones is in the Target parking lot, we're gonna start on this because we don't want... Oh yeah, VOD will absolutely be up. I haven't seen anything getting silenced with this playlist, so we're gonna go ahead and leave the playlist. We're also gonna highlight this and then export it to YouTube, so if you guys miss anything today, it will be on YouTube. All right, so first up we're gonna talk about Kermit the Frog. Actually, he's Kermit the Hognose Snake. All right, so this is a hognose. They are a type of colubrid. They're non-venomous. They're absolutely a noodle. Yeah, so they're non-venomous. They like to think they're big scary. They're obviously very small. He is a full-grown adult. In fact, he is actually the father of all the other ones you're going to see today. And as you can tell, he is pretty small. In fact, a breeding male only has to be 80 grams and a breeding size female only has to be 200 grams. So as you can tell, that they are very small snake. What they do to try to scare off predators is, he's not doing it, but like they will flatten their head out so they kind of look like they're wider than they really are. We call it, well, I call it pancaking. So like if you hear me refer to one as saying it's pancaking, then that just basically means he's trying to make himself look wider. They look really silly when they do it, but you know, they don't exactly have a lot of defensive measures. Really, they just like, they make really loud noises, like they go right? They make really loud noises and then they make themselves look bigger, and if all else fails, they will play dead. Like this snake, and honestly, mine are so used to humans messing with them because I'm all the time doing weird stuff with them. Mine are so used to humans messing with them that in order to get them to play dead, I would really have to stress them out. So I'd really rather not do that. So as you can see, like right here, where I'm like showing off his tail, where that color change happens, where it went from white to black, that is where their cloaca's at. Cloaca is basically a snake butthole. And the dark part where the rest of his tail was, that's how you tell that he is a male, because that part is really long. And the males, since they're hemipenes, are inside, unless they're breeding, they're inside the scales. I don't know. Do you need to know where his butt is? They need that extra tail space for their hemipenes to go. The females have a much shorter tail. Yeah, it's all for science. I'm giving you facts here. We're not being silly. I'm just telling you where his butt's at for science. Right, so the female, and I'll show you one of the female's tails later on, but the female has a much shorter section right there after their cloaca. That's because they obviously don't have to have their penises in there. Yes, I said penises, plural. Snakes have 2 penises. And they are also preferential to a left or the right. But, you know, if one gets damaged, they've still got the other one that can continue to procreate. So, yes, that's the thing we now know. All right, so yeah, this is the Western hognose snake are a colubrid, part of the colubrid class. This particular snakes, you don't even know what to use for that. I swear to God, the sausage one's still banned. All right, Panda. Hey, Jennifer, how are you doing today? It's great to see you in chat. So Western hognose are actually native to North America. So in certain parts of the United States, Mexico and Canada, you can actually find these in the wild. Now, they are not native to my part of the United States. They're more toward the central areas. But yeah, so you could actually find one of these in the wild. There's also an Eastern hognose that behaves the same way they do, has a very similar look, but is a much darker color overall. And I believe they're a little bit bigger. There's also one, I think in South America, that is a triple colored. Naturally, it comes with 3 different colors, but obviously, I don't own any of those, or otherwise you guys would be seeing those. But yeah, so this is, like I said, this is Kermit. And if we look across his back, he's got like these splotches and things. Those little band, like dotted pattern down his back. That is actually hereditary. And sometimes if you get some the reduced pattern ones, you can end up with one that's called a super conda. He is just a regular conda. But yeah, you can get one that's called a super conda, in which case they'll have like their whole back will basically be absent of splotches, and then their whole belly will be black. Anyway, so that is Kermit the Snake. Did the snake eat Kermit the Frog? No, but fun fact, okay, Western hognose, they naturally will eat frogs and lizards. Usually in captivity, they're fed mouses, but so because it's much easier to acquire those in quantity than it is for frogs and lizards. So these guys actually eat mice, very small mice. I get them from a place called Rodent Pro. Which, okay, they get fed like once a week to maybe every other week, sometimes even once a month. Size is very dependent on how often they're going to need to eat, as well as what you're trying to do with them. How did you miss? How many did you miss? This is the first one, Panda. This is the first one still. So yeah, size plays a big role in that. Like, he is already adult size, so I only really need to feed him like once a month. He gets like one small to medium adult mouse a month. When you're working up to breeding season, like let's say you want to get your females to lay you eggs, you'll feed them a lot more. Like, you'll feed them like once a week maybe. Or when they're in the growth phase, like the baby hognoses, they'll eat twice a week until they get to a certain stage, and then once a week, and then the next stage up every other week. So he's, like I said, an adult. He's well past his breeding size that he needs to be to safely breed. So he gets like once a month, he gets a mouse. Their digestive system, their metabolisms work so much slower than a human's That's why they don't need to eat nearly as often. Yeah, and since he's in captivity, he's getting like this guaranteed meal whenever it's time. So he doesn't have to worry about food. And as you can see, he's not skinny or anything like that. He's like this nice round snake. All right, so that's Kermit down. Chaser hasn't... Why have you been awake since 2 a.m., Chaser? All right, so the next one we're gonna see here. How do my cats do around them? Occasionally, like, let's say the snake is like being very active, which they sometimes do. Like, they'll be very active inside their enclosure. They'll be like booping their nose against the front and stuff like that. The cats will sit and watch them. I have had a couple escapees. Oh, I'm sorry to hear you're having bad dreams. I've had a couple escapees, and when the escapees have gotten out, the cats have actually surrounded or told on the snake where it was. So it actually made it easier to find. We've not had any, I haven't had any of the cats get bit, and I haven't had any of the cats attack the snakes. So usually when one gets out, the cats will like surround it and tell me where it's at. You know, like if it, yeah, so they'll sit there and like spy on it until I figure it out. What do you mean, wait? Wait, what? Banana. The snakes kind of like, no, they haven't, no, they don't attack especially the Western hognoses. The Western hognoses are very defensive. They're not very aggressive. Even when they're being poked and prodded, they are more likely to try to scare you away instead of bite you. All right, so this is Sir Poofy, who for a short period of time, I forgot what his name was. So for a little while, he was known as Mr. Wiggles. Until I remembered I'm a terrible human. I forgot his name. So yeah, this is Sir Poofy. As you can see, he's got really, really prominent splotches on his back. But yeah, they are much more defensive. They would rather try to scare you away or play dead. But they normally, if they're gonna bite, it would only be because of like a feeding response. Like they think you're a mouse, or they're just think they're big enough to eat you. They've not attacked or bit or anything like that out of like malicious or being scared or anything like that. In fact, the one that the cat surrounded was just like curled up and hissing at them, which obviously I was like, wow, that's a problem. All right, so this one's got very prominent splotches on his back. It's also on its underbelly. Yes, Daisy picked it up. The underbelly on this one is checkered more. So this one is more of a normal morph and would not be able to create a superconda with babies. The best that Sir Poofy can hope for is that he gets paired with a conda female and has conda offspring. Yes, my arm, my finger. Also, if you look, their little nose is upturned at the very end, right there where I'm booping them. Their little nose is upturned. That's because this particular type of snake, a lot of the times they live out where it's got loose soil. So what they do is they'll dig into the soil using their snoot. Now, if you see these in pet stores and you see them like on sand, I know a lot of pet stores do that because it looks cool. They want to sell you sand to put your snake on. Don't put your snake on sand. Please, please, please don't put your snake on sand. That is one of the worst possible things you can put them on. All right. They will accidentally swallow the sand, and then it could cause them to have an impaction. Shovel nose. Yeah, pretty much. They're using their nose to shovel their way through loose dirt. So instead of sand, what I would suggest, and it might not look nearly as nice as the sand, but I would suggest that you put this type of snake on wood chips. So if you can find like aspen wood chips, stuff like that, not on pine. Pine chips have like an oil on them that could be toxic to, it could cause a reaction for human skin as well as cause the snakes to have a problem. So if you can find aspen wood chips, I know Petco has it because that's where I get mine. I get like a giant bale of wood chips once every 3 months. So yeah, there's a giant bale of wood chips like out in the garage right now that I'm working my way through. But yeah, so make sure that you're not putting these guys on sand. Like I said, it could cause some serious problems, some serious impaction. And that you don't want your snake to have to go through that. You don't want to have to go through that. Right. So yeah, this is Sir Poofy. And as Daisy pointed out, it's got it's booping me right now. It's like over here booping my finger. But yeah, they definitely, the belly pattern on this one, like Daisy pointed out, is very fun. It's very checkered. So that is another way that we can tell that this is a normal morph, aka paint job. If you ever hear me refer to a morph on one of these guys, it's basically the pattern, the color of their scales. The pattern and the color. So like his belly right there is all like black and white checkered. So Kermit's belly, if you remember, was like solid color right up to his butt. Anyway, so this is Sir Poofy. And I lost my train of thought. 100% lost my train of thought. All right. But he is also full size now. He's big enough. He's in fact bigger than he would need to be for the minimum breeding size, which we said was 80 grams. I imagine he's closer to 200, maybe 220. But yeah, again, they just need to be little tiny, and they're about as big around as like my thumb. If that, which, not very big at all. So yeah, they, very inquisitive, these guys, because they're really socialized. They get poked and played with all the time. Sir Boopy. Maybe we'll name another one Sir Boopy. He is Sir Poofy. Because when he was little, he used to like puff out his cheeks at me all the time. Now he's like, it's that human again. But yeah, when he was little, he was named Sir Poofy because he used to puff out his cheeks all the time. What is it, Chaser? Yo, is you puffing out your cheeks? But yeah, it's just a defense mechanism to try to scare you away. All right, so next, we're going to see Sir Pinky. Sir Pinky was like feeling very much like he just wanted to sit and chill, and then I had the audacity to move him. So now he's just like la-laing at the, Sir Pinky. He's just la-laing at the camera. And if you look at his head, if you can tell, he's kind of flattening it out a little bit to look a little bit bigger. But he's really just being very chill right here and just being inquisitive and doesn't want me to poke him. But you can see like he's kind of flattening out his head a little bit, so he's getting a little pancakey there. He wasn't hissing though. Snake pretzel. Oh, absolutely. But yeah, like it kind of gives their head a cobra look when they do it. Like when they start flattening it out, like they're flaring out a cobra hood, but they're just trying to make themselves look bigger. Trying to scare off whatever might be interfering with them, which obviously didn't work for him because there's his nose. Oh, I got right up in his face. The camera didn't even know what to focus on at that point. He's the one, if I go get like some clay or Play-Doh and make like one of those little top hats, he's the one I would do it to. Just because he's just so chill. But just a whole bunch of little tongue flicking. Now, every time they're flicking their tongue out like that, they're tasting the air. They're trying to see if there's a predator around, or if there's prey around, or, you know, just tasting the air to see what's there. They don't really smell in the same manner that humans do. Like, we just kind of like breathe in through our nose and we can smell things. What they do is when they're tasting the air, they've got glands inside their mouth that is where they're getting the scent from. Boop the camera. Yep, he might have also licked the camera. I'm not sure. We were awfully close. But yeah, so he's just tasting the air to see what's going on, what's around him. How big would fallout snakes be? I don't know. That's a very good question. I mean, would they even need to be big? Well, I guess they would be, since everything else is big. Oh my God, could you imagine the size a snake would have to be to eat a skeever? No, thank you. But yeah, he's like, you can't really tell because his body is all up on it, but he's got his tail all curled up as well. And sometimes what these kind of snakes will do is, if they're in dire circumstances before they play dead, they'll try to like attract your attention to their tail. And they'll do a thing that's called a false strike. A false strike is like when they boop you with their snoot, but their mouth is closed. They're not trying to bite you. They're just trying to scare you off. So none of these guys did it today for me to sell you. Giant worm movie size. Ooh. Possibly, Chaser. Possibly. Jumunga. Yes. That would be very world serpent. Yeah, there we go. But yeah, what they might false strike if they're trying to scare you away. So it's just a little boop with their snoot, and it's really like not scary. It might be a little startling if you're not used to it. No worries whatsoever. But yeah, it might be a little startling if it's something you're not used to. But these guys, like I said, they never have bitten outside of like trying to consume you because they think you're a mouse. One actually did bite one of my housemates, and like I said, he hadn't washed his hands and he was helping me feed, and he reached in to grab her and she smelled mouse on him, and yeah, she bit his finger. But like I said, that's feeding response. It wasn't an aggressive move or even a defensive move. It was just, you smell like a mouse, I'm going to try to eat you. Hey, Flash, how you doing? Oh, did you look up how to spell it? I'm not going to be able to pronounce it. Germung. Oh man, I get that far and then I'm done. Germangander? Whatever. Okay. Anyhow, yeah, so this is Sir Pinky. And like I said, I'd really like to get him like a little clay top hat or maybe Play-Doh top hat, because he is super chill and he would look so dapper with that. You thought the tongue on the emote was a purple snake. Oh my. No, that's one of Poppy Fubar's emotes. He's absolutely wonderful. All right, so that is it for Sir Pinky. He did a lot of just sitting and licking and, you know, tasting the air. So that is it for Sir Pinky. Next, we're going to move on to the only girl I brought you guys today. Today's almost a guy's day. All right, so this is Sardini.
What are you doing in my swamp?
Flash, thank you so much for the bits. I appreciate you. You would only see one snake in any region. Dude, it would be so huge. You're Mungander. Oh gosh. So yes, this is Sardini. Well, I try to make them unique names. I mean, I don't think, maybe Sir Pinky wasn't quite unique because it was just kind of like a play on words. See how short her section of tail is after her cloaca? So that's how you can tell that this is a girl, and like Kermit's was really long. Air tastes like predator. Air tastes like silly human and Christmas decorations. And maybe a cookie. Right. So anyhow, she is actually, again, full breeding size. So it gives you like a bit of an idea of how small this species actually is, that she's breeding size and like her head is the size, like the tip of my finger, practically. She was also being very curious and trying to crawl all over the place. So you can definitely see she's like, yeah, what's over here? What's over there? How's things going? Every once in a while too, if you look at them, they'll kind of like dig their nose against the tablecloth. And that was like they're trying to burrow and then realizing they can't burrow on the table. So yeah, just kind of like let her crawl around for a little while. But she's also got like the really dark splotches, very defined patches on her back. So unfortunately, she will not be able to give me a superconda offspring, but she is possible het, which is heterozygous, possible het for albino. She is full sister to Sir Pinky. All right. And Pinky is an albino. The only way you can get an albino in a snake, because it's a recessive gene, is both parents are carrying the gene and pass it on to the offspring. So that could either be through them being heterozygous, which is they're carrying the gene, but they are not a visual representation of albino, or if they are a full albino, they're homozygous albino, which means they're actually a visual representation. So they would actually show up like Sir Pinky did. How many snakes? 28. Can we get a house tour? No, we can't. This is my kitchen, or this is the kitchen table. So there's your tour. There's decorations on the table. Yes, Zenifer, 28. Some of them, like this one, Western Hognose. I've got some San Diego Gophers. And I've got some ball pythons. So no, they're not all hog noses. So anyway, yes, ball pythons. Or if you're in Europe, I believe they're called royal pythons over there. It's just depends on what side of the world that you live on which one you call. That's many. It is very many. They definitely eat their fair share of rats, that's for sure. Where were we? What, a house tour? No. Because the kitchen, yes, the kitchen table. This is the kitchen table. If you look closely, sometimes I am off the edge of the table. You can see the floor. And no, crazy snake ladies, not crazy cat ladies. They're on there's like this little ceramic decoration in the middle of the table somewhere, and I almost thought about putting the snake up on it, but then I was like, I don't want them to accidentally get hurt. You know, or if they decide to freak out because they're sitting on top of a ceramic fire truck that has a tree in it. Yep. All right, so yeah, you can also see on her belly is also checkered black and white, so another indicator that she would not be able to pass on a conda gene because she does not have a conda gene. A conda gene is the one that affects their pattern. The albino is the one that affects how much melanin is in their scales. So it's the same, like the same way with humans, how like if you have more of that, the melanistic properties in your skin, you're a little bit darker, like easier to tan. There is one that we are not seeing today, but I will put into the next stream, the next snake stream. Some of you remember Macherie. She is the all white one. So she is hypomelanistic. She's not an albino. She is hypomelanistic. There is a difference. Albino is the absence, whereas hypomelanistic means that she just does not have color, if that makes sense. It's a... She actually doesn't even have pattern on her either, which is leading, you know, lending to that hypomelanistic versus the albino, which you can still see the pattern. It's just now all in pinks instead of, you know, the actual colors. Yeah. Anyway, Lazy Bones, I hope that you didn't have to use up all your data to watch the snakes today. But thank you guys so much for redeeming Snake Stream. We're going to have another one probably next week, and then another one later on next week. And then we'll finally get well, geez, it'll be in the new year before we get this out, before we get it all done. Thank you so much for visiting the snakes with me today. I appreciate you guys. Unlimited. Oh, fantastic. Fantastic. And yes, I will make sure that I highlight this and send it over to YouTube and save the VOD for anybody who wants to. Python is favorite snacks. Oh. All right. We'll definitely have to make sure we get some in there. I'll probably give you, like I said, Macherie, because she shows off the hypomelanistic or the super lesser variety of morph. And probably Roxanne, because she is big girl. She is super big girl. She's very sweet. And then I'll have to pick up a couple more for you so that you get to have some really fantastic looking people. She's still working. Nice. All right. Well, yes, I will make sure I save that. And hope everybody had themselves a wonderful time in here today. I am most likely going to be playing some GTA here in a little bit. But that will conclude the snake portion of today.